On this 8th day of May 2024, welcome to the Wednesday edition of Uctv News. I'm Sunday Gloria Aboch. The Bishop of Arua Diocese, Bishop Sabino Odoki, has called upon Ugandans to work with love and passion for better lives. The Bishop made the call at the closure mass for the Communication Week held in Arua District. The celebration for the 58th World Day of Social Communications was held at Sacred Heart of Jesus Ediofre Cathedral in Arua Diocese under the theme Artificial Intelligence and Wisdom of Heart Towards a Fully Human Communication.
During the celebration of the 58th World Day of Social Communications held at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Ediofre Cathedral in Arua Diocese, the Bishop of Arua Diocese, Bishop Sabino Odochi, in his homily emphasized love through action in everything that we do.
Love must be seen in action. What do we do to make our love real? By reaching out to God through prayers. Going for prayers, as we are doing now, is action of love towards God. We have put aside everything to come and be here and pray and thank God for what the church is doing through the social communications, through the media. By doing our work well in our families, whatever we do in families to make life better, that is love in action. Whatever we do in our small Christian communities to make us live together as Christians who support one another, that is love in action. Whatever we do in our workplaces, we do to the best of our ability, so that others can get the services that we are to give for them. That is real love. Uganda will not suffer so much if we are all committed to our work and do it with passion of love.
He called for work with love and passion for all Ugandans to better their lives.
If in Uganda today we would all work for real love, as our motto says, for God and my country, our life situation would be a lot better. Let all we do be done with passion and love so that our life situation can get better. So there is a lot to do to express our real love. Let us take the example of Jesus. Let us take the example of the saints. Let us take the example of those who can inspire us.
The church celebrated the role played by the communication sector in evangelization. He said mass media has grown and expanded to over diverse areas in both print and electronic form, and above all, the artificial intelligence, which has made tremendous changes in the digital era.
So we are very grateful that we have these various means of communication: Facebook, WhatsApp, video, Zoom, which has even changed the way we meet. People now meet through video Zoom. The first time I didn't like it much, but now I like it so much because it saves my time. And so on and so forth. And behind all this, there is what we call artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is another new vocabulary which has made the world change a lot. The phones we use, the computers we use, so many things that we use, behind it is the artificial intelligence.
He said that the Catholic Church cannot live in isolation, but lives in the modern world and must use the modern means of communication for effective evangelism.
We are therefore lucky for the many inventions and technological advancements which are present in our times. These are great opportunities. Even Pope Francis tells us in the document that he has given for this occasion, that these are great opportunities, but also, if and when not used well, they can also be a danger to our society. So we must always be aware of the negative effects so that we keep always on the positive effect.
Reverend Father Phil Podi, the Executive Secretary, Social Communications for Uganda Episcopal Conference, says it's a day to appreciate the Catholic communicators and support them financially.
Uganda Catholic Television started broadcasting in 2020, and it was officially launched last year in June at Namugongo. Some of you may have been there, but we still need your support. It's still a young media house, and in the coming months we shall be going around the dioceses promoting Uctv, but also asking you to continue supporting it.
He further called for support for the Uganda Catholic Television.
The World Communications Day, which we are celebrating today, provides us an opportunity to reflect on our responsibilities as communicators. It's an opportunity also for the public to understand what we are doing, to pray for the communication apostolate, but also to make a financial contribution towards the communication apostolate of the church. So it is a day for appreciating our communicators and also a day to support them financially.
Right now, the church in Uganda has been given the gift of a Catholic national radio, UCTV, Uganda Catholic Television. I meant television, not radio, right? Which is in its infancy, right? Which is not reaching everywhere right now yet. But in order to do that, in order to get on those platforms that Father Odi was mentioning, we need support. People don't give this to us for free. The STV, Star Times, and all the others, they need money to accept us so that we may be seen everywhere. So my appeal to you is, first of all, to pray for our television, for our media in general, Catholic media in the Catholic Church, but for the television, Uganda Catholic Television in particular, because this is a rather critical moment of its growth, right? And we need all your support.
The World Day of Communication is to reflect on the opportunities and challenges of communication in the modern times. The day was instituted by Pope Paul IV in 1967 after the conclusion of the Vatican Council II, whose first discussion was about the use of modern means of communication for effective evangelization. The purpose of instituting the World Day of Communication was to reflect on the opportunities and challenges of communication in the modern times. Nora Osende for UCTV News.
Now, Uganda's unwavering commitment to providing sanctuary and opportunity to refugees, rooted in the belief in the inherent dignity of every individual, has earned international acclaim. Today, we took a look at Bidibidi refugee camps' solidarity in fostering resilience and hope amidst adversity. Here is more to this.
Bidibidi refugee settlement, encompassing over 250 square kilometers of the east half of Yumbe district. This camp stretches southward from the South Sudanese border, extending its embrace into Moyo district along the eastern bank of the Kochi River. Bidibidi is now a sanctuary to 1,099,000 South Sudanese, offering them solace from the storms of conflict and displacement. Akankwasa Rogers and his dedicated team, stewards of compassion and caretakers of the displaced. Their tireless efforts ensure that the basic needs of the refugees are met, providing not just only shelter, but normalcy amidst upheaval. However, the land upon which Bidibidi rests is not solely inhabitable by those seeking sanctuary. It belongs also to members of the host communities who generously share their home with those in need.
As you are aware, land on which we have settled these refugees does not belong to the government. Unlike the settlements in Western Uganda, where land belongs to the government, the land in West Nile, where we have settled the refugees, belongs to the members of the host community, who gave it to us through goodwill. So, we work together with the Yumbe district local government. And in the settlement, we work with partners. And we have different partners. Partners in protection, partners in livelihood, partners in wash, partners in education, partners in food and sector, partners in infrastructure. So these partners work together to see that the persons we serve, the refugees, whom we call the persons of concern, get services.
Through partnership and collaboration of the various stakeholders, from education to health professions and aid workers to local leaders, services are delivered efficiently and effectively. It is in this collective endeavor that the true spirit of Bindibidi lies.
The market is booming, so really by and large, this has positively impacted on the host community. Only that, when it comes now to environment, with the environment, because when talk of firewood, grass for thatching, so this one has a bit affected the environment. But as partners, we make sure we come up with measures. For example, giving these refugees trees to plant, coming up with the energy saving measures. So we come in to mitigate that.
Uganda has earned international acclaim for its unwavering commitment to providing sanctuary and opportunity to those fleeing persecution and conflict. Its belief in inherent dignity and rights of every individual, regardless of their nationality or circumstance. Unlike many nations that view refugees as a burden to be shouldered or threats to be contained, Uganda sees them as valuable contributors to the social, cultural, and economic history of the nation.
Refugees have the rights like those ones of Ugandans. Save for, they are not supposed to own what? Land. Because land ownership is vested in the citizens of what? Uganda. Maybe if they are getting it under leasehold. Secondly, they are not supposed to be involved in the politics of a what? Country, like voting. But these other rights, accessing the courts of law, employment, education, business, engaging in trade and commerce, they are supposed to what? To do so. And that's why, if they engage, for example, in trade and commerce, they have a duty to pay what? Taxes. They also have a duty to abide by the laws and the regulations of what? Of Uganda. So they are not above the law. If a refugee commits a crime, he's treated the same way Ugandan is what? Because they are bound by the laws and the regulations of Uganda.
Oteba Cephas from a local non-government organization called Transformation and Restoration Initiative, a non-government organization that supports community through resource allocation for improved lives. They support education in the refugee camp and strengthen the systems that deliver education.
We are proud to be associated with the refugee operation because we are making a contribution towards improved livelihood, especially education, which is an important component that contributes to capital development of the population. So we are seeing an improvement in access to education, especially for the girl child, and the girl child who has had the babies, because we are having in the community children who have had the children, whom we call teenage mothers. So we are seeing with the intervention through community sensitization, through engagement with the community structures like the refugee welfare councils, the LOCs in the host communities, there's an increased awareness and sensitization for the parents to recognize that these children are given a second chance to access education.
Nora Osende for UCTV News.
Government is set to start compulsory patriotism training for all Senior 6 vacists starting this year. According to the Commissioner for National Secretariat Patriotism Corps, Helen Seku, the tentative program is that all Senior 6 vacists will undergo training at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi for at least 3 months. Seku asked students who are preparing to break off for holidays to take care of themselves, given the challenging societies they come from, full of evil people.
Because you even not have the money to treat it. The scientists made a report that today in Uganda, every 7 days we register 600 youth who are HIV positive. Are we safe? Yes. So we can only avoid the spread of the virus by keeping ourselves safe by doing what? Abstaining. Are we together, ladies? Yes. When I went for a job interview in State House, the only requirement they wanted from me, they didn't care about my professionalism. They said, "Do you have a patriotism certificate?" Imagine if I didn't have it, it means I would not qualify. So ladies, when you get that certificate, handle it with love, handle it with care. You never know. It might be a password one day, one time.
I want to thank the Secretariat for sending the instructors, for supporting us various ways. Thank you very much, our Commissioner, for accepting to be here. I know you are a very busy person, but you've given us this time. We are so grateful that we got uniforms this time round. Last year we were in our usual, you know, like you saw the demonstration team. That is how we were last year. But today we were very smart. Thank you very much, Secretariat, for according us the uniform. But we pray that we can cost share in future so that we train more Ugandans. So as you go home, encourage your parents to also love the environment, not to throw these empty bottles as they drive along the road. When you see Kavera everywhere, all that is because people are not patriotic enough. But I know that we are sending out patriots who are going to train others in the wider community.
I learned to love my country, to serve my country, to sacrifice my country, to be loyal to my country, and to love myself.
When we started, it has taught me resilience and endurance, especially in the morning jogging, since I am not a morning person. We woke up and jogged, and I don't do that, so I really am grateful that we have taken this up and we have done it.
I have learned to work with one another. I've learned to work together. The spirit of working together, because united we stand.
Ladongo Minor Basilica in Uganda's Yumbe district stands a beacon of unity in predominantly Muslim community, showcasing the power of peaceful coexistence and shared humanity. Now, despite cultural and religious differences, the Catholic Church's mission of dialogue and cooperation has not only fostered harmony, but also driven social development initiatives befitting all residents. Join us as we explore the remarkable story of Ladongo Minor Basilica and its enduring impact on the faith and community of the people of Yumbe district.
The story of Ladongo Minor Basilica in Uganda Yumbe district is intertwined with the rich history of Catholicism in the region. The genesis of the story traces back to the missionary efforts of the Catholic Church in East Africa during the late 19th and the early 20th centuries. The Catholic Church began its missionary work in Uganda in the late 800s with the arrival of the White Fathers and other missionary groups. These missionaries ventured into the various regions of Uganda, including the remote areas like Yumbe district, to spread the message of Christianity. In Yumbe district, the Catholic faith has taken root gradually among the local population, despite the challenges posed by cultural differences and other religious beliefs. Over time, as many converts joined the Catholic Church, the need for a place of worship became evident. The parish priest, Monsignor Constantine Varga, gives us more insight.
Ladongo as a parish was created in 1927 by the Comboni missionaries, and it was elevated as Basilica in 1961, during the time when Father Satori, who is now Venerable Satori, was the parish priest. Ladongo Minor Basilica is the first basilica in sub-Saharan Africa.
In the heart of Yumbe district, amidst the predominantly Muslim population, despite the overwhelming Muslim majority comprising nearly 90%, the parish priest proudly attests of the peaceful means of preaching the gospel.
Yumbe as a district, 90% are Muslims. But we managed to spread the gospel through peaceful means. We preach love, we preach coexistence. We believe in the Basilica, we serve humanity. That's how we managed to spread the gospel in the Yumbe district.
The story about Ladonga Minor Basilica speaks volumes about the power of dialogue and cooperation in fostering unity among its diversity, a reminder of a shared humanity that transcends religious boundaries. In Yumbe district, the gospel of peace is not merely preached within the confines of the church, it's lived out daily through harmonious interactions and mutual respect between the Muslims and the Catholic neighbors.
We have many opportunities that even serve the Muslim communities, especially the loans. We have the schools, we have technical schools, we have schools for agriculture, and all these attract them to come closer to us. And this empowers the Muslim communities also, especially the women.
The Catholic Church stands as a pillar of support and service to the entire community. The Catholic Church has embraced its role not only as a place of worship, but also as a beacon of social development and humanitarian aid. Through innovative initiatives such as the agriculture products and community farms, the Church has spearheaded efforts to uplift the livelihoods of residents, irrespective of religious affiliations.
That farm is actually open to the communities around. The community around here is basically composed of the Aringa people, and most of the people here, they are Muslims. So this farm is open to serve this district of Yumbe, which is 90% Muslim. And we see that this is important for us to have some working relationship with them. So in that farm, we have schools, very good primary school, boarding. We have also a secondary school dedicated to Mother Mary, St. Mary's Secondary School. And also in that farm, there is a lot of program to uplift or to help people overcome poverty. So there is microfinance, whereby we get money and give as loans to the community around here. And our main funders have been the Italian Episcopal Conference, but we have also taken loan from Missio Invest, and the loan is still running, whereby we do cultivation, we help people to do cultivation and do business, and then they can return our money.
Today, Ladonga Minor Basilica stands as a statement to the enduring faith of the Catholic community in the Yumbe district. It continues to serve as a place of prayer, reflection, and community for believers in the region. Nora Osende for Uctv News.
Finally, from our local scene, as the world commemorates World Red Cross Day, Uganda Red Cross Society takes stock of its 6 decades journey, highlighting its adaptive approach to addressing evolving humanitarian needs. In an exclusive interview with Irene Nakasita, the Director of Communication, Resource Mobilization and Partnerships, the organization reflects on its transformative role in building resilience and promoting human dignity across diverse communities in Uganda.
First of all, the Red Cross in Uganda began as a women-led organization, and it had its base in Entebbe. But then Uganda was a colony of the British. And so we did not have the Red Cross in Uganda, but rather a branch of the British Red Cross then. So when Uganda got independence, we became an independent national society. Because the government of Uganda signed the Geneva Conventions, and so they are party to that treaty. And therefore it was okayed for this country to have an independent national society. So when Uganda got independence, we stopped being just a branch of the British Red Cross, and we became an independent Red Cross society. If you read the laws of Uganda, chapter 57, or what we call Cap 57 of the Constitution of Uganda, it backs the Uganda Red Cross Society. It talks about how the Red Cross started. By then it was a mandate of the Red Cross to respond to emergencies during war. But today we are not a war country, and so what we are handling is quite a number of things that are related to emergencies, including disasters, including disease outbreaks, all those emergencies that concern life, including population movement, where we have refugees that are coming into the country, where we have emergency disease outbreaks such as COVID-19 pandemic, such as the anthrax that is affecting animals, Marburg, you know, among others, including Ebola, because you've seen us in the Ebola response. We also respond to disasters like we are doing right now. And also we support people affected by other health emergencies such as road traffic accidents. That's why you see our ambulances responding quickly on the roads. We also support blood donor mobilization because scarcity of blood is also an emergency and a life-threatening one. So we come in to really address a number of issues. And that is why today we are asking the government of Uganda to revise the Red Cross Act. We enacted by an act of parliament in 1964. So many years have really passed. So it's actually by July this year we will turn 60 years of existence in the country. Our mandate has kept growing, and therefore we want the bill or the Red Cross Act to be revised so that it takes care of all the other things that we are doing today. So over the years, our work has progressed, has been changing, but not changing the field, but rather growing in terms of scope and coverage. As I speak, we have 51 branches spread across the country to be able to respond. We have a network of volunteers and members coming to about 500,000. That's like 500,000 people supporting our emergency response across the country. And that number is still growing because every other day we have new people signing up as members, signing up as volunteers. Those who are really captivated by the kind of work we do and want to join the mandate or want to join us are really signing up every other day. So we believe this number is going to grow soon. So over the years, that's how our work has kept changing, but most importantly, targeting the lives of those that are at risk or those who are vulnerable. We really support crises and emergencies, especially the man-made disasters and the natural calamities. We work closely with the Office of the Prime Minister or with the government of Uganda through the Office of the Prime Minister to address disasters. But over the years, we've come up with innovations, and also we've come up with better ways of doing this work. We began as merely volunteers responding, but today we are building capacities of government structures from the district to the grassroots level to see how they can also be involved. You see, tackling some of these emergencies is not a one-man show. You can't pull this through alone. As Red Cross, we are saying, where are the government structures to work with us? You understand? If a disaster happens like today, I know about 4 people have died in Kisoro. Just from last night to this morning, because of a landslide. Actually, it has affected 2 families. These people have died from 2 families. And the District Disaster Management Committee of Kisoro is working with our teams to be able to respond, but also support the people affected. But this Disaster Management Committee has been formed with the support of the Ugandan Red Cross Society. And why are we doing all these interventions? We want to make sure that government structures are equally empowered to work alongside the Red Cross to respond to these emergencies as they occur. But also there are things that require decision making. As Red Cross, we might take a decision, but we want the government structures to own them. Yeah, we are saying, can we maybe channel this water from this point to this way, because we feel it's in the best interests of the people. Who will enact that? It is the government, not us. But where is the government structure? It is the district. And therefore, we are coming up with such interventions to make sure that government structures are empowered are strengthened, and that they have what they require to be able to work alongside us as we save lives in disaster and emergency preparedness. Preparedness is helping us more because when disasters occur, they claim less lives or even no lives. But if there is no preparedness, response equally becomes difficult. If communities are prepared, when a disaster occurs, the impact is less, and also the risk is equally less. Let me share an example. I have not had any deaths in Kasese right now, but do you think River Nyamwamba shifted? It is still there. The heavy rains are on. But why? The Red Cross, through innovations, installed the river gauge on River Nyamwamba. We are able to monitor the water levels every other day. And what does that mean for us or for the community? We are able to see that water is rising, and therefore we send alerts and signals to people living around the river for them to vacate for their safety. You understand? And we're doing this still with the government, because we can't just go and install it there without permission of the government. So we work with those structures to ensure that preparedness is equally strengthened. We've also put community radios to enable us send out early warning messages to people in time. That's the preparedness I'm talking about. Because we don't want to wait when the river has burst its banks for us to be able to tell the people. So when we monitor the river banks and also the water levels, we are able to send out community alerts through the Red Cross teams on ground, or we call response action teams or RACATs, but also use the community radio structures that we've put in place, use the community leadership structures to be able to ensure that communication reaches even the lowest person as part of saving lives.
Thank you for watching UCTV News. We are going to take a break, and don't miss the Rome reports when we return.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage dirty money
with a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Toboka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773 597 166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasese Get Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The numeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the numerators, provide correct data and information information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The enumeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.
UCTV, good news for all.
And in our Wednesday edition of the Uganda Matters feature, we bring you the story of Saint Matthias Mulumba.
Saint Matthias Kalemba Mulumba Wante, a Musoga from Bunya. He was captured by a Muganda warrior, Magato, who treated him as his own son and gave him the name of his own clan, the Edible Rat. Mulumba, because of his faithfulness and justice, was soon promoted to various posts, the highest being Assistant County Chief of Bulemezi and Singo consecutively. He had many wives but fought hard to remain with one, Chikuambaza or Chikuwa, as his legal wife. Mulumba was a faithful, courageous, penitent and powerful leader. He died the most brutal and lingering death at Old Kampala from 27th to 30th May 1886. His limbs were cut off first, strips of flesh cut from his back, and stayed in that state without a complaint for 3 days, praying for his country and executioners. He was about 50 years old. Mulumba was the ideal chief and follower of Christ, meek and humble. Due to his humility, Mulumba, though a big chief, used to carry his own luggage instead of giving it to his servants. He used to fast and make mortifications. Mulumba is the patron of chiefs and families.
Thank you for keeping us company. This is the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch, wishing you the best of this evening.